Marshall head coach Gary Nichols going for career win number 600. Of course, his biggest win came when he won the '94 state title as Willowridge's head coach. Second quarter, the Buffaloes feed it inside to Christian Barnett. Not quite a dunk, but Marshall will take it. 31-27 lead going to halftime. Marshall Mystics treated the crowd with their moves, and when the teams got back on the floor, it was Marshall who used an 8-0 run to go up 41-33 after Damien comes through with the follow. Willowridge stopped allowing Marshall's second chances, quickly stormed back. DeShawn Jackson takes the cross-court pass, glides in for a 51-50 Willowridge lead. Justin Sanders now knocks down the three-pointer, and Willowridge was up by as much as 6 late in the fourth. Marshall doesn't quit, though, with under a minute to play. Jadier Richardson takes it to the rack hard. The Buffaloes retake the lead 59-58. Willowridge with a chance to answer, but Rashard Thompson's potential game winner is blocked by 6'9" Keandre Gibson. What a finish as Marshall survives 59-58. Buffaloes honor Coach Nichols on reaching the 600-win plateau.
Well, it's a big win, but it's no bigger than one, 599, number 3. You know, they all are big, and they're all special.
It was a big 22-5A showdown in Brazoria County as Pearland hosted 19th-ranked Manville. First quarter, Manville starts off on fire. Creighton bound Leon Gilmore for 3. Then on the break, Gilmore tips the ball back to Kelton Houston for 2. The Mavs were up 12 after 1. Second quarter, Pearland's Devon Begley for 3. He was one of 2 Oilers with 16 points. The Mavs' Keon White answers with a 3 of his own. Mavericks up 13 at the half. Third quarter, Manville stretches the lead. Dexter Williams for 3 in the far corner. Ahmad Huff to the basket, draws contact and gets it to fall. He was one of 4 Mavericks to end up in double figures. Gilmore with the pull-up at the buzzer. He gets it. The Mavericks up 21 after 3, and they win big, 66-49. The Friendswood Crazies out in full force as they took on Dawson. Big matchup first quarter. Friendswood's Adam Hinchcliffe. Nice pass to Chris Collins over to Kelby Shimming. The easy bucket there for the Mustangs. Dawson's Eddie Stoneham over to Jordan Lewis. Dials up the 3. Things looking good for Dawson. Third quarter, Lewis another 3-pointer. And Dawson up 44-28. But Friendswood makes a furious comeback. A minute 20 left. Griffin for 3, and Friendswood cuts the lead to 5. 1 minute to go. Friendswood shimming, steals, misses the shot, but Griffin tips the ball back in, and Friendswood is down by just 1, 56-55. Lewis hits a couple big free throws on the other end. Dawson up 58-55. But in the final seconds, Friendswood, they need a 3 to tie. Shimming shot is no good, and Dawson hangs on. 58-55 is the final.
Defending 4A state champ Terry traveled to Angleton. First quarter, Angleton's Larry Haynes flying down the court, dishes to Josh Ybarra for the basket. Angleton up 7 after 1. Second quarter, Terry's defense now. Drake James, Michael Maxwell with the steal. Maxwell throws it ahead to Jarlin White. He goes in for the layup. And then it's going to be Terry's Dimitri Anderson to White underneath. That's 2 in the foul. Angleton playing tough defense as well. Check out Ibarra with a huge rejection right there. Very nice. Angleton up 8 at the half now. Third quarter, more Angleton defense. TJ Josie with the steal. Josie all the way for the jam. Angleton in command, and they win at 64-51. HCYA traveled to Dallas to take on Prime Prep Monday night. Justin Jackson sprained his ankle last Friday in practice. He took about 3 weeks, did not play against Prime Prep. First quarter, Emmanuel Moudine with the steal and nice pass between 2 defenders. Terrence Ferguson for the dunk. Move to the second quarter. Great ball movement. Gets the ball to Jacoby Gordon for 3. He'll knock that one down. Moudine with the rebound, and he throws the 3/4 alley-oop pass to Ferguson, who finishes with 15 points to lead everybody. Prime Prep wins 71-51.
Some great action as always around the area, and I'm sure North Carolina Tar Heel fans are holding their breath a little bit until they get the all clear that their future star Justin Jackson is back at full strength. Now, speaking of big-time recruits, we take a look back at Football National Signing Day.
The day began at 8 this morning in Texas City, where twin brothers Armani and Deonta Foreman stuck with their early commitment and signed with the Longhorns.
I really like Mac. I still do. Think he's a wonderful person. But, I mean, things happen in the college level, so I'm just happy that we got strong, and I'm just ready to go play ball.
And it was a full house at HISD signing day this afternoon. Westside receiver Frank Iannaccio to A&M. Lamar had a big crop, including defensive back John Bonney, who signed with the Longhorns.
I wanted to make sure I went to a place that was going to help me 40 years from now, and I feel like University of Texas can do that.
At Humble ISD signing day, spotted was Summer Creek quarterback Aaron Sharp, once a Kansas State commit, instead had a change of heart and signed with UCLA.
Probably the biggest day of my life so far. I've been waiting for this since I was a little kid.
At Pearland Dawson, the group was highlighted by receiver Tony Upchurch, who signed with LSU, and at Manville, Mavs star offensive lineman Coda Martin signed with Texas A&M.
Stay tuned. Chevy's Inside High School Sports is coming right back.
Chevrolet's Inside High School Sports is brought to you by Carl's Jr. Introducing the Super Bacon Cheeseburger, a charbroiled beef patty with American cheese, tomato, lettuce, onion, and 6 strips of crispy bacon. Only at Carl's Jr.
.426 horsepower. 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds. The 2014 Chevy Camaro. Starting at $23,555. See your Houston area Chevy dealers.
These buns aren't baking in a factory or at a McDonald's, Burger King, or Wendy's. There's only one place to get them. Introducing Fresh Baked Buns, baked fresh in restaurant. Try them on the Philly Cheesesteak Thick Burger and get a free Snickerdoodle ice cream sandwich when you make it a combo at Carl's Jr.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-670-7954. That's 800-670-7954.
Chevrolet's Inside High School Sports is brought to you by the Houston area Chevy dealers. Come visit your nearest dealer to test drive the all-new Silverado today.
Welcome back to Chevy's Inside High School Sports. It's time to get back to the action and check in on some girls teams as the UIL regular season wrapped up this week. Check them out.
The 18-5A girls title was on the line as Eisenhower hosted Nimitz. Eisenhower breaks things open late in the second as Shakiria DeBose finishes it off. Ike up 37-20 at halftime. Nimitz, though, kept it interesting, getting hot from the outside. There's a three-pointer for the Cougars. Then more great moves from DeBose, but this time she dumps it to Jadier Jackson, and it's a 48-26 Eisenhower lead. Tiffany Partle now wide open for three. She's got it, 53-30 Ike, and the crowd is loving it. Alashana King now drains a long three-pointer. She led Nimitz with 17. DeBose and the Eagles were just too much for Nimitz to handle. What a shot now as DeBose led everyone with 24. Eisenhower wins district outright, 66-44 the final. Tomball taking on Tomball Memorial. The Tomball freshmen were fired up, but it was senior night. And how about this rendition of the national anthem by first chair All-State Orchestra member Danny Jordan. First quarter, the Cougars dumping inside to Carissa Diaz, 6'4" at that point. The future HBU Husky goes to work, 2 of her 17 on the night. Tomball Memorial running and gunning now. Jadier Jackson with the steal. Wildcats would close on a 7-0 run to end the quarter. Second quarter, Maddie Walls steps up. Three-pointer goes down. Alex Gill now making things happen on the fast break. Puts Tomball Memorial back on top. Gill had 12 points. Jackson was the Wildcats' leading scorer with 18. It was her 7th straight game in double figures as Tomball Memorial avenges an earlier loss to their rivals 49-36, and the two teams share the District 22 4A championship.
Well, it's hard to believe, but the basketball playoffs are already upon us for the girls, and we'll break down what to expect as the area teams fight it out. Also, we recap a busy week off the field with all that business. It's 2 big R's, recruiting and realignment. That's when Chevy's Inside High School Sports returns.
.426 horsepower. 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds. The 2014 Chevy Camaro. Starting at $23,555. See your Houston area Chevy dealers.
These buns aren't baking in a factory or at a McDonald's, Burger King, or Wendy's. There's only one place to get them. Introducing fresh baked buns, baked fresh in restaurant. Try them on the Philly cheesesteak thick burger and get a free Snickerdoodle ice cream sandwich when you make it a combo at Carl's Jr.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance right now, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today. We can provide you with affordable insurance options with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. Call now. And just for calling, as a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 123. Call today.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-670-7954. That's 800-670-7954.
Chevrolet's Inside High School Sports is brought to you by the Houston area Chevy dealers.
Glad to have you back with us on Chevy's Inside High School Sports. While the basketball season is getting to the pinnacle of excitement, realignment and recruiting took center stage this past week. Perhaps the biggest change on a statewide level isn't much of a change at all, and that's that there will be a new Class 6A, but 6-man will now be called 1A, so everything really just moved up a number basically in the rundown. Nevertheless, it'll take a little getting used to as we get ready for a new football season. Locally, one of the biggest items was Elkins and Bush dropping from 6A to 5A to play with Texas City, Galveston Ball, and Santa Fe, while the 3 A-Leaf schools join the remaining 6A Fort Bend ISD teams to form a 9-team district.
Historically, it's been like Cypress Fairbanks. They have a lot of schools, and they can have all those schools put together until they get 11 schools. Then you have to split them up. In this case, they chose not to opt up those schools.
You know, again, for us, it was a kid-driven decision. So I like it because I think all of our schools are going to have the opportunity to play against, teams that are like enrollment. And for us, that was important.
All right, let's bring in Angel Verdejo now from the Houston Chronicle to recap some of the other high points locally. And Angel, aside from the Fort Bend ISD transition, what stood out to you with regards to realignment locally?
And when those first came out, and that was a busy day, everyone looks at the schools that were moving up and where they were going to get placed. You look at Montgomery, they end up going with the Klein and Springs, and everybody wonders out loud, why are they having to drive through Conroe to get to their district games? But sometimes when you're that one school town, that one school district, like a Montgomery, like a Strake Jesuit, you end up being a place, the UAL, you're at the mercy of the UAL. If they have a district that has 7 teams and they want that 8th team, sometimes they'll place you there. And then another one, just looking at it, you look at 24 5A, the numbers are a little bit different. 5A is the old 4A. Lamar Consolidated, ISD, Terry, those schools, George Ranch, they had Angleton, which everyone kind of figured was going to happen, but you also get a Port Lavaca Calhoun. So they get a great football program, kind of the curveball that everyone always sees, everyone knows is going to come with the UIL. They kind of figured Galveston Ball, Texas City, Santa Fe maybe, but you get another team, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. We'll see what happens next season. And then also just another one down at the 4A level, which is, the current 3A. The HISD districts, they're going to have non-HISD district opponents in football. One at the Division I level, Navasota, will be making some long drives into town to play district games. So just something to look out for, maybe if you're doing traffic sometime next fall. And then also something to keep an eye on is just the future. Region 3 is almost busting at the seams at the higher levels, especially at the new 6A. We have a 10-team district, a couple of 9-team districts. Region 1 and Region 4 have a 5 and a 6, if I'm looking at it correctly. And then you have to just wonder what the future is. Cy-Fair eventually is going to have that 11th and 12th school. Katie's going to have that 8th and 9th school. What's going to happen? Are we going to get another Region 2 district and maybe even go into Region 4? But eventually, Region 3 is going to have to find a way to accommodate all these teams. So we'll see what the future of UIL realignment. So look for 2 years from now and 4 years from now what happens with that.
Let's shift over now to the other huge event this week, which was, of course, National Signing Day. Were there any notable recruits that flipped their commitment at the 11th hour? And who do you feel will make the biggest impact at their next destination?
And I guess the good thing is, at least for us reporters, there weren't too many flips at the 11th hour. As close as we got is maybe Ronald Monroe, the dual threat quarterback at Bush, making his decision Tuesday night, with signing day being the next morning. But he ends up picking Vanderbilt, get a chance to play quarterback there. He loves it in the fact that he'll get a chance to play quarterback at the SEC, and also Vanderbilt's a great school. And with him, part of his recruitment was he going to get a chance to play quarterback? And as he said, he'll get the chance. If he has to switch positions, he'll do it. Obviously, kids want to get on the field and showcase their talents. But we did have a little bit of drama just in the case of kids deciding if they were going to keep their commitments or wonder. Nick Harvey was the talented defensive back at Fort Bend Travis. Longtime A&M commit, but it was basically trying to make up his mind that morning. He ended up skipping the Fort Bend ISD signing ceremony. His chair was there, but David announced his name, but he wasn't there. He was deciding between sticking with the Aggies or picking A&M or TCU. He ended up staying with the Aggies, but just one of those where just didn't have his decision made that morning. Another defensive back over at Lamar, John Bonney, longtime UT committed in September, but everyone knows once Mac Brown made the decision to step down, a lot of those commits had to start looking around to make sure Texas was the right place for them with the new staff, or maybe they need to go somewhere else. He ended up deciding between Texas, Baylor, and Auburn, ends up sticking out with Texas, and just a place he wanted to go, one of those lifelong dreams for him.
Well, the girls' basketball playoffs start this week. Give us your outlook, Angel, on what to expect over the next few weeks. It's going to be fun as teams try to make their way to Austin.
And with that, you have to start with 5A. You have to start with Manville. That team's been rolling. This has kind of been their year. They've been locked in. They have the talent. They have the experience. The only curveball to that is they're not even the defending region champ. That's Clear Springs. They met in the 3rd round last year, and Clear Springs, knocked them out. But you're talking about a Manville team that once again has top-level talent. The team's been together. They have the experience. This is their chance to make their run and possibly unseat the 2-time defending champs Duncanville. But once again, that's if they can get out the region. Clear Springs is still around. North Shore is always tough. Fort Bend Bush just ran through 23 5A. You have a slew of teams in 17 5A, Cy-Fair, Cy Wood, Cy Creek. So there's going to be plenty of teams. We'll see what shakes out, you know, at the 4A level. Barbers Hill's that team that's been a state a couple years. They just lost a tough district game to Summer Creek, which lets you know the Bulldogs are a team that can win some games in the playoffs. Also, you know, Montgomery's tough. Brenham's going to be tough. You know, Wheatley and North Shore, some of the HISD teams, they've proven they can win some tough games. So same thing. The region tournaments are going to be great. Whoever the Houston area sends to Austin, even the 5A region too, the Klein and the Woodlands, those teams can play. We're going to have some tough teams, and hopefully one of them can get a state title for the Houston area.
Okay, Angel, we certainly look forward to some exciting tournament action in the coming weeks on both the girls and the boys side. Thanks for being with us once again. We'll touch base again next week. Well, more on recruiting when Chevy's Inside High School Sports returns. There's a set of twins now on the northeast side who are staying close to home. Stay tuned.
.426 horsepower. 0 to 60, 4.7 seconds. The 2014 Chevy Camaro. Starting at $23,555. See your Houston area Chevy dealers.
These buns aren't baking in a factory or at a McDonald's, Burger King, or Wendy's. There's only one place to get them. Introducing fresh baked buns, baked fresh in restaurant. Try them on the Philly cheesesteak thick burger and get a free Snickerdoodle ice cream sandwich when you make it a combo at Carl's Jr.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Chevrolet's Inside High School Sports is brought to you by John Keating Chevrolet. Come test drive the all-new Silverado today.
All right, we're back here on Chevy's Inside High School Sports, and recruiting is obviously on the front burner this week. Crosby, they had an outstanding season on the gridiron with a 10-2 record that resulted in an area-round appearance in 4A Division II. 2 of the team leaders were twin brothers, Aston and Austin Walter, who committed to play at Rice. The Crosby Cougars and its sibling stars are the focus of this week's Chevy Spotlight.
The only thing eclipsing Crosby's school record of 9 players signing college scholarships this week was the Cougars' 10 wins this past fall, which was also the most in school history. Much of the success can be attributed to a popular term around the Crosby athletic program, Code Red.
Yeah, it sounds like a Army order or something, you know, going into battle, but Code Red to us is just something that exemplifies our priorities. We try to teach our kids about priorities. Code Red does is God Family Team. You know, in this community here in Crosby, it's just blossomed. People have really jumped on ship to Code Red. The parents love what we're teaching their kids and holding them accountable.
Code Red certainly served the Cougars well, but the team's 2 most prolific stars better change that color to blue as they stay local and head to Rice. Austin Walter was a 2-time All-State running back who ran for over 2,700 yards and 34 touchdowns this past season. Twin brother Aston was a dual threat for the Cougars at quarterback, accounting for 41 touchdowns through the air or on the ground.
Rice is just 25 minutes down the road, so I can always come home, get some of my mom's good home-cooked meals, so everything's just great.
They love yams, so I always prepare their favorite yams for them. And this cake that's been in the family for a long time, it's called candy cake.
Who knew? As important as yams and cakes and other comforts of being close to home were for the Walter twins, not to mention the opportunity to get an outstanding education, it was equally significant for Rice to be able to keep 2 top local players.
When they touch the ball, it's incredible what happens. They're poster children for what we want in Rice football, what they have on their transcripts, what they do in a football field, what they do in a community. You know, they're important. They were important to us.
We always talk about what if somebody went to an Alabama school and they're just a part of history. But when we're talking about Rice, I mean, we're thinking about, man, we could like really start some national championships and be the first instead of just another number. So when we think about it, like, man, I want to be the first to do this. I want to be the first one to rebuild that stadium. I want to be the first one to win the highest. I want to be the first, be an innovator, and that's what it just draws us.
Some big goals to match those big smiles. The Crosby football team and its star twin brothers. This week's Chevy Spotlight.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on Chevy's Inside High School Sports for another busy week. On behalf of the entire crew, I'm Randy McElvoy saying thanks for watching. We'll see you once again next week.
Horsepower. 0 to 60, 4.7 seconds. The 2014 Chevy Camaro. Starting at $23,555. See your Houston area Chevy dealers.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.